The Galactic Council's main ship floated silently in orbit above Earth. Inside, the Grand Meeting Hall was filled with shouting alien leaders. The last video from Scout Leader Grok's ship kept replaying on the big screen the moment his ship was lifted like a toy and then smashed into the city below. Ambassador Zeely's thin insect legs tapped the floor. "How can humans do this?" she said, voice shaking. General Kroger snarled, "They cannot. There must be another species helping them. Humans do not have this power." Chancellor Vorine glowed darkly. "You are wrong. Humans sent us a warning. We ignored it. We made a mistake." On the far side of the council ship, a young alien captain named Reezer listened silently. He was famous for his bravery and for his arrogance. Reezer felt humiliated. How could the galaxy's strongest scouts be defeated by a backward planet? His blood boiled with rage. He slammed his fist on the control panel. "These weak humans think they can scare us?" he growled to his crew. "I will show them true power." Reezer disobeyed direct orders from the council. He launched his heavy assault ship alone toward Earth. His ship was 4 times bigger than a scout, armed with plasma cannons and laser beams. His plan was simple: destroy a human city to prove Earth's weakness. On Earth, the night sky glowed red as Reezer's ship entered the atmosphere like a falling star. The ship roared low over empty highways, shaking buildings with its thunderous engines. Reezer's face twisted with a cruel smile. He ordered his weapons online. Plasma cannons charged, humming with deadly energy. His target appeared on the screens, an empty city skyscraper standing tall, but streets abandoned. "This will teach them fear," Reezer spat. He fired the first plasma beam. A massive building exploded in a ball of fire. Another shot turned a city block into burning rubble. Reezer laughed loudly as towers crumbled. The Galactic Council's eyes widened as they watched the live feed. "What is he doing?" Ambassador Zeely gasped. "He's a fool," Chancellor Vorine said. "He will wake something we cannot control." As Reezer's ship hovered over the smoking ruins, he felt invincible. "See?" he shouted over the comms. "This is what happens to those who challenge the council." But then everything changed. The smoke from the burning city started moving. It twisted together, spinning faster and faster, like a tornado made of shadows. In the center of the swirling black mist, something took shape. A tall, humanoid figure, with glowing white eyes, stepped out of the smoke and looked up directly at Reezer's ship. On the ship's main screen, Reezer saw it. His laughter stopped. His blood ran cold. The figure raised one hand. Lightning cracked across the sky. Reezer's control panels sparked wildly. Systems began to fail one by one. His engineer screamed, "Shields down! Engines offline!" Shouted, "Fire! Destroy it!" The ship's cannons charged and fired again. But the beams of plasma bent away, curving around the figure as if space itself refused to touch it. Then the figure pointed at Reezer's ship. The clouds above the city split open, and a massive column of red energy shot down from the sky. Hitting the ship dead center, the ship's hull melted like wax. The crew's screams echoed inside as systems exploded. The assault ship broke into pieces, raining burning metal over the city, far above. On the council ship, every alien watched in horror. The video feed showed the final seconds of Reezer's ship disintegrating. Then the screen went black. Silence filled the council hall. Even the most warlike leaders said nothing. Chancellor Vorine spoke softly, his glow pale. "We have just made a bigger mistake. We attacked without understanding, and now something has awakened." General Kroger's face was pale with fear. "This is not human technology," he whispered. "This is something else. Something older." Ambassador Zeely turned to the others. "We must leave Earth. We must regroup before we lose everything." But it was too late. Across the stars, news of Reezer's destruction spread. Small ships in orbit began to panic. Some tried to flee, but their engines shut down mysteriously. Others reported seeing shadows inside their ships, moving where there should be none. Fear was spreading faster than any weapon. Meanwhile, on Earth, the tall figure in the smoke looked up at the stars. Its eyes glowed brighter, its voice low, and filled with rage, echoed through the night. We asked nicely. Now, you will understand.
Ah.
And with those words, Earth's skies turned black, hiding the stars. A storm like none seen before began to form, lightning dancing across continents. The galaxy was now trapped between fear and fury, and humans were no longer the hunted, but the hunters. The skies over Earth were no longer blue. A thick black storm covered the entire planet. Lightning flashed every few seconds, painting strange shapes in the clouds. Thunder rolled so loudly it shook orbiting ships from space. Earth looked like a dark, swirling eye, watching the galaxy back. On the Galactic Council's main ship, the situation was turning desperate. Alarms blared as smaller ships in orbit lost power one by one. Some drifted aimlessly. Others started to fall into Earth's gravity, burning up in the atmosphere like shooting stars. Ambassador Xylee was near tears, her thin legs shaking. We are losing control. We need to retreat now. But General Kroger slammed his claw on the table. No, we cannot look weak. If we leave, the humans will think they have one. Chancellor Vorin floated closer, his glowing, jelly-like body pulsing with fear. General, we are not fighting humans anymore. We are fighting something we do not understand. On Earth, the mist moved like a living ocean through the empty cities. It carried shadows with it, tall, dark figures walking silently. Sometimes their eyes glowed red or white. They moved faster than any camera could track. They were everywhere, on rooftops, inside buildings, in the forests. These shadows were not afraid of alien technology. They stepped through energy shields as if they were air. They melted walls with a touch. They pulled alien soldiers out of hiding places without leaving footprints. One group of alien soldiers landed on Earth, hoping to rescue survivors from the scout teams. As they moved through an empty hospital, they heard soft footsteps echoing all around them. A voice whispered in their minds. We asked nicely. One by one, the soldiers were dragged into the mist. Their screams were short. There was only silence. In the council ship, a technician shouted, "Something is coming from Earth." On the big screen, hundreds of dark shapes rose from the storm clouds. They looked like giant birds made of shadows, each with wings wider than a spaceship. The flock of shadows flew into space, heading straight for the council ship. Panic spread among the alien crew. Some ran to escape pods. Others hid in corners, praying to their homeworld gods. General Kroger roared. All weapons, fire at will. Cannons on the council ship lit up space with beams of blue and green energy. The blasts tore through some of the shadow creatures, making them burst into black smoke. But for every one destroyed, two more took its place. The shadows hit the council ship like a storm. Claws of darkness ripped through metal holes. Alarms screamed louder. Lights flickered. Soldiers fought bravely, but fell quickly, their bodies vanishing into the shadows. In the middle of the chaos, Chancellor Vorin floated calmly. He sent a final message to every ship still in orbit. Leave Earth. This is not our fight anymore. But for many, it was already too late. The Council's main ship started to lose power. Its massive engines failed. It began to sink toward Earth's gravity. Inside, fires burned out of control. Shadow creatures poured through corridors, hunting anything that moved. In the main hall, Ambassador Xylee tried to crawl away. She felt cold claws grab her leg, pulling her into the darkness. Her scream echoed in the empty hall. Above Earth, dozens of alien ships fired their engines at full power, trying to escape the planet's orbit, but something pulled at them, an invisible force dragging them back. One pilot cried out, "We are stuck. The gravity is wrong. It's like the planet itself is angry." Outside their windows, lightning danced across the black clouds. Faces of giant humans formed in the storm, mouths open, as if screaming in rage. Meanwhile, far beyond the chaos, other species across the galaxy watched the broadcasts in horror. Giant screens in alien cities showed the shadows tearing through the Council fleet. Some species began to cheer, glad to see the Council humbled. Others prepared their own defenses, fearing the same fate. On Earth, the storm center glowed, blood red. The tall figure who first appeared in the mist stood at the top of a ruined building. Lightning crackled around him. His voice, deep and full of anger, thundered across space itself. "We gave you a chance. You chose war. Now learn." Why we say don't make us angry? The remaining council ships fled at full speed. Some made it out of the solar system. Others vanished, pulled back to Earth by the storm's invisible hands. And as the last ship disappeared into faster-than-light travel, the storm over Earth began to calm. The mist pulled back into the cities. The skies cleared slowly, stars reappearing, one by one. But Earth was changed. It was no longer just a small blue planet. It had shown the galaxy a terrifying truth. Humans were not weak. They were something else entirely, something that could shake the stars with their fury. The stars over Earth sparkled peacefully, but beyond that calm light, the galaxy was anything but quiet. Far-off empires sent their spies and assassins. Alien warlords gathered secret armies. Council, humiliated and afraid, made new plans. For revenge, Earth's first battle was over. But the real war was only beginning. In the dark halls of the Galactic Council's secret fortress, a massive hologram of Earth floated above a round table. Around it stood the Council's highest-ranking survivors. Ambassador Xyle's replacement spoke with anger burning in her voice. "We must crush them before they spread their madness across the stars." Another Council elder shook his head. "No, we must weaken them first. Make the humans fight each other. Break them from the inside." A third voice, old and slow, whispered from the shadows. "Or, we make them believe they are safe, then strike." All agreed on one thing: Earth could never be allowed to rise again. Meanwhile, in the dark void between star systems, dozens of stealth ships moved silently. They belonged to mercenaries hired by the Council and its allies. Its ship carried weapons designed to kill humans quietly: viruses, ink bombs, and mind control devices. But Earth was not blind. In secret labs, human scientists studied every piece of alien technology they had recovered. They found ways to strengthen shields, improve energy weapons, and build devices that could scan for cloaked ships. One night, alarms screamed at a secret base in the Nevada desert. Sensors showed an alien stealth craft entering Earth's atmosphere. Human fighters scrambled into the skies. Missiles streaked through the dark. The alien ship exploded in a bright ball of fire, pieces raining down over the desert. General Carter stood at a window, watching the burning debris fall. His eyes were tired but determined. "They think they can surprise us," he said softly, "but we are ready." Far away, on a dying planet orbiting a red star, the elders of the galaxy gathered once more. These beings had seen thousands of wars and the rise and fall of countless empires. They watched Earth's growing power with deep concern. One elder, his body like living crystal, said slowly, "Humans are changing too quickly. If they master our technology, they may become unstoppable." Another elder disagreed. "Or they could bring balance. Their rage might end the Council's cruelty." A third elder spoke, her voice sad and wise. "Either way, the galaxy stands." On the edge of a great storm, back on Earth, strange weather patterns appeared all over the world. Snow fell in deserts. Storms raged over calm seas. Northern lights danced in places they never appeared before. Scientists said these changes were because of the massive energy unleashed during the battle. But others whispered that the world itself was waking up, that Earth, or something deep within it, was becoming aware. In underground shelters, humans who had witnessed the shadows told stories. They spoke of eyes glowing in the mist, of voices in their minds, of dark figures protecting them when no one else could. Some feared these shadows, some worshipped them. In secret meetings, a new human group formed, the Keepers of the Shadow. They believed the shadows were ancient guardians of Earth, spirits awakened by humanity's rage. They vowed to find the source of these shadows and to control it. High above Earth, in an old abandoned alien satellite, a single Council spy watched the planet. He recorded humans rebuilding, training, and preparing for the next attack. He sent messages back to the council warning them they are learning too fast. But just as he sent his final message, his screen went black. A cold mist filled his satellite. The last thing he saw was a tall, dark figure stepping out of the shadows. His scream never reached the council. At the same time, in cities across Earth, mysterious symbols appeared overnight on walls and streets, symbols no one recognized. They glowed softly in the dark, pulsing with strange energy. People who touched them felt a chill run through their bodies, and some heard whispers in forgotten languages. In the heart of Earth's largest forest, a tall figure with glowing eyes stood silently. His voice, deep and powerful, carried across. "The trees, they come. Let them. But remember, we are ready." As he spoke, shadows moved around him, slipping between trees. Faster than any eye could follow. In the far reaches of space, fleets gathered, armies trained, and alliances formed. The galaxy's leaders prepared for a second, much greater war. But on Earth, every man, woman, and child felt a strange strength growing inside them. Quiet promise that they would never again be easy prey. The storm was coming. The cold silence of space cracked open as hundreds of alien warships appeared near Earth. The Council and its allies had gathered every ship they could find. The blackness between stars glowed red with engines and weapons. Forming an armada larger than anything ever seen, the leaders of the galaxy were ready to end humanity forever. On Earth, sirens wailed across cities and countrysides. Families ran for underground bunkers. Soldiers took positions on rooftops and hills. Fighters, bombers, and strange new human ships lifted into the sky. Every human heart beat with fear and fury in his mountain command center. General Carter looked at a screen showing the massive alien fleet. He knew Earth had little chance of victory in a fair fight. Today, he said quietly, we show them what humans are made of. Above the clouds, the first alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere. Their energy beams cut through the night sky like falling stars. Human defenses fired back. Missiles, lasers, strange weapons built from stolen alien tech. The sky became a storm of fire. But then, the shadows came. From forests, cities, mountains, and seas, black mist rose like a living wave. Shapes with glowing eyes leaped onto alien ships, tearing through armor with impossible strength. The mist coiled around engines and reactors, freezing them in seconds. Alien pilots screamed as their ships fell from the sky. Across the battlefield, the tall figure with glowing eyes walked calmly through burning wreckage. Alien soldiers charged him, but he raised his hand, and the mist swept them away like leaves in a hurricane. He spoke, his voice echoing across every radio, speaker, and mind on Earth and beyond. You were warned. In space, human ships fought. With desperate courage, a small group of fighters slipped through the chaos, heading straight for the Council's flagship. Alien ships chased them, firing plasma cannons. But one by one, the shadows appeared around the human fighters, shielding them with swirling darkness. The flagship loomed ahead, massive and terrifying. Inside the Council's war room, panicked, leaders watched as their fleets burned. How can this be? One shouted. They are only humans. Another cried. The oldest council elder fell silent as the flagship's sensors showed the shadows approaching. He realized too late what they had awakened. At the last moment, the human fighters fired their missiles. The flagship exploded in a blinding light, shockwaves rippling through space. Alien ships lost formation, crashing into each other in confusion. On Earth, people in shelters felt the ground shake as burning ships fell from the sky. But then they heard something else. A low, powerful voice carried on the wind. You are safe. Children looked up, eyes wide. Parents held each other. For the first time in days, hope returned. High above, the last council ships turned to flee. But as they jumped to hyperspace, they saw Earth grow distant, and the stars around it flickered with strange dark energy. Some ships never reached their destinations, lost to the shadows between worlds. Far across the galaxy, those who watched realized the truth. The humans had not just survived. They had become something new, something that could never be broken again. In hidden corners of space, some alien species began reaching out with messages of peace, hoping to join rather than fight. Others hid, waiting for a day they might challenge Earth again. Back on Earth, humans climbed from bunkers and shelters, stepping into a dawn brighter than any before. Smoke still rose from cities, but the air felt alive with a new strength. General Carter stood on a ruined street looking at the rising sun. General Singh joined him. "Is it over?" Singh asked softly. "For now," Carter replied. He looked at children playing among the ruins, their laughter echoing. But if they come again, they will remember. In the forest, the tall figure with glowing eyes watched the sky, his face calm but fierce. Shadows gathered around him like loyal guardians. He whispered to the wind, "They learned why we said, 'Don't make us angry.'" And so the galaxy changed forever. From that day on, whenever anyone spoke of humans, they spoke with fear, but also respect. The story of Earth's rage spread across every star, carried by those who had seen the shadows with their own eyes. And in the cold darkness of space, no one ever forgot the day the galaxy realized why humans begged, "Don't make us angry." The Galactic Council was meeting on their giant silver ship floating above the blue gas clouds of planet Xeron. Leaders from many powerful alien species sat around a round table. There were lizard-like generals from Draven, tall insect-like diplomats from Zikra, glowing jellyfish-like thinkers from Norax. The council was talking about trade routes and small wars happening in distant star systems. Suddenly, the main screen in the council room flickered. A red signal appeared. It was coming from Sector 7G, the place where the small, strange planet called Earth was located. The signal was short. It repeated the same words in many galactic languages. "Please, don't make us angry." The council went silent. A few seconds no one spoke. Then General Kroger from Draven burst into laughter. His voice was loud like thunder. "Humans are weak. They have small weapons, tiny ships, and soft bodies," he roared. Ambassador Xylee from Zikra clicked her thin insect legs and agreed. "They are nothing. The planet is small, their species young. Why should we care about their anger?" Chancellor Vorin from Norax floated forward, his jelly-like body glowing a dark blue. "It is strange," he said in a quiet voice. "Why would a weak species send such a message? Why not beg for peace? Why not offer gifts? Why warn us?" Some council members felt uneasy. Stories about humans were strange. Humans had spread quickly to their moon, then Mars, then some small moons of Jupiter. But after that, they stopped. It was like they lost interest in the stars. Some said they became lazy. Some said they were afraid. To find the truth, the council voted to send a team of scouts to Earth. They wanted to show humans who controlled the galaxy. They wanted to teach them respect. 3 small scout ships were chosen. They were black, shaped like knives, and moved silently through space. Inside them were elite alien soldiers. They were excited. For them, this was not a mission. It was an easy hunt. When the scouts arrived near Earth, they found the planet looking beautiful from space. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds, but something felt wrong. There was no noise on the radio channels, no human voices, no TV signals. Number? Music. Just silence. Scout leader Grok adjusted his helmet and ordered the others to scan the cities. Drones were launched from the ships. They flew into human cities: New York, Tokyo, Paris. The streets were empty. Cars stood still. Traffic lights blinked. To no one. In some places, food was still on tables, as if people left in a hurry. One scout drone flew inside a house. Toys lay on the floor. A TV was turned on, but only showed black and white static. A baby crib was empty. There were signs of life, but no people. "Where are they?" hissed Scout Grok. His claws tapped the controls nervously. In the council ship far away. Live video came from the scout ships. Leaders watched the empty cities. Some felt confused. Others felt excited. General Kroger shouted, "They must be hiding underground. They know we are coming. Let's burn their cities and smoke them out." But Chancellor Voron shook his glowing head slowly. "This is not normal," he whispered. "There is something off. Humans do not hide so well. They always make noise." Meanwhile, on Earth, one scout ship flew closer to a ruined human military base. The buildings were destroyed, but not by alien weapons. There were giant claw marks on walls. Tanks were crushed, as if stomped by something huge. The scouts scanned for life, but found nothing. Suddenly, a strange feeling filled the air. Scout Grack felt his scales rise. Didn't know why. The sky above the base turned dark as clouds gathered unnaturally fast. Lightning flashed across the sky. The instruments on the scout ship flickered. From deep in the clouds, a voice came. Wait. It was not loud, but every scout heard it inside their minds. "We asked nicely." Scout Grok screamed, falling backward in his seat. The other scouts looked around in panic. Systems on their ship started failing one by one. Lights went out, controls stopped working, engines turned off. The ships began to drift in the sky above Earth. In space, the Galactic Council watched the live video feed from the scouts. Suddenly, the feed turned to static. The last image they saw was the clouds opening like a giant eye. Panic spread through the council room. Some aliens shouted for a full invasion. Others begged to wait. Rumors spread quickly among the guards and staff of the council ship. Someone whispered, "The humans. They did something." But what? Far below on Earth, the clouds slowly closed. The dark sky became calm again. The cities stayed empty. But if someone looked closely, shadows moved between buildings. They moved too fast to see clearly, and in the darkness, soft footsteps echoed, like a promise of something terrible. The galaxy had just been warned. 3 black scout ships drifted high above Earth's surface. Their engines were dead, lights flickering weakly. Inside the alien, scouts tried desperately to restart their systems. They punched buttons, pulled levers, shouted in their alien languages, but nothing worked. Scout leader Grok slammed his clawed fist into the control panel. Sparks flew, but the screen stayed dark. "This cannot be," he hissed. "Our ships are the best in the galaxy. No primitive humans could do this." Through the scout ship's windows, the clouds parted. They saw Earth's cities below. Still empty, still silent, but something had changed. Streets were now covered in strange mist, rising from the ground like thin white fingers. The mist moved against the wind, as if it was alive. Grok ordered his team, "Launch drones. Search the cities again. We need to find any humans or anything." Small black drones flew from the belly of the scouts. They zipped into the misty. Cities, cameras, scanning every alley and rooftop. The council's main ship, orbiting far above, received the video feed live. Alien leaders leaned forward in their chairs, eyes wide. One drone flew down an empty street in New York. Skyscrapers loomed overhead. Billboards showed frozen images of smiling humans. An electronic sign flashed the word "evacuate" again and again. But there were no people. Another drone hovered inside a hospital. Beds were empty. Medical tools lay on the floor. Blood was smeared on the walls, but no bodies. The silence felt heavy. Like the buildings themselves were holding their breath. On board the scout ships, panic began to spread among the soldiers. A young alien scout named Hrak whispered, "They disappeared, like ghosts." Leader Grak grabbed Hrak by the neck. "Control yourself," he barked. "We're Draven scouts, the best hunters." There is a logical reason for this. But deep down, Grok's cold blood felt warm with fear. He had hunted dangerous beasts on many planets, but never had he felt so watched, so hunted himself. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council's meeting hall, Ambassador Xylee clicked her thin insect legs nervously. "This is impossible," she muttered. "Did they leave their planet? Did someone else help them escape?" Chancellor Voron's glowing body flickered darkly. "Or," he said slowly, "did they hide from us? Because they planned something?" "General," Kroger slammed his fist on the table. Enough games. Send the rest of our fleet. Crush Earth until it is dust. But others hesitated. Some feared starting a war without knowing what they were fighting. Back on Earth, one drone picked up movement. It focused on a dark alley. Figure stood there, tall, humanoid, face hidden by shadows. The drone zoomed in. Figure lifted its head slowly. Red eyes glowed softly in the darkness. Scout Grok stared at the video feed, his heart almost stopped. As that? A human. The figure raised one hand. The mist around it swirled faster, like a storm. A low, rumbling growl filled the alley. Before the drone could react, the figure vanished, moving faster than the camera could track. The feed cut to static. Another drone caught something else. A school bus parked on a bridge, empty. But on the roof of the bus sat a child's teddy bear, staring at the sky. As the drone approached, the teddy bear's head turned slowly toward the camera. The drone exploded in a flash of red energy. Grok shouted, "This is impossible. They have technology beyond ours. They have magic." In space, Galactic Council leaders watched in horror as one by one, the drone feeds cut off. The black screens filled the giant main display. Only the sound of static remained. A trembling council guard whispered, "Did you see how fast that human moved? Faster than our best soldiers?" Another council member said, "How can toys come alive?" Of power is this? Ambassador Xylee asked the question on everyone's mind. Are these really humans, or something else pretending to be them? Leader Grak made a desperate call to the council. His voice was shaky. "This is Scout Leader Grok. The cities are empty. Drones are being destroyed. There are things moving in the mist. We do not know what they are." Chancellor Vorn answered, his voice grave. "Return to space. Do not engage. We must plan our next move." But before Grok could reply, something hit his scout ship from below. A massive force lifted the entire ship hundreds of meters into the sky, like a toy thrown by a giant hand. Inside, aliens screamed as they were slammed into the ceiling. The ship fell back toward the Earth, crashing into a skyscraper. A huge explosion lit up the night. Flames rose into the dark sky. In space, the council watched the final moments from Grok's ship. The screen went dark. An alarm sounded on the council ship. Alien leaders stood up shouting orders. Or spread. Like wildfire, they now understood. Humans were not hiding because they were afraid. They were waiting because they were angry, and the galaxy had just poked the sleeping beast. In the darkness of space, silence settled over Earth's orbit. The last of the Galactic Council's ships had either fled or been destroyed. Broken pieces of alien metal floated quietly among the stars, still glowing red from the recent battle. For the first time in days, the world below was calm. The black storm clouds slowly cleared, revealing the moon shining softly above a sleeping Earth. On the ground, the mist retreated back into the cities. Empty streets were now littered with alien wreckage. Burned-out ships lay half-buried in craters. Alien weapons, some still sparking with blue energy, were scattered across roads and rooftops. But there were no humans to be seen. Inside a dark control room deep under a mountain, a small group of human generals watched the world through giant screens. Their faces were calm but hard. General Carter spoke first. "They finally know," he said quietly. General Singh nodded. "Yes, they understand what happens when humans get angry." A younger officer, eyes wide with fear, whispered, "But sir, what about the shadows? Are they really us?" General Carter looked at him, eyes cold. "They are what we become when we must protect our home," he answered. No one asked more questions. In the ruins of New York City, the tall figure with glowing eyes walked down the middle of an empty highway. Cars sat abandoned, doors open, lights still blinking. The figure's steps were slow but full of purpose. Wherever it passed, the mist shivered like it was alive. Above the figure, giant digital billboards turned on one by one, displaying a single message. "We warned you." Far away on distant planets, news of the Council's defeat spread like wildfire. In grand halls of alien empires, leaders watched videos of shadows tearing apart the council fleet. They debated quietly among themselves. Some species were afraid. Some were angry. Some smiled. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted overnight. On a council colony world, Ambassador Zeely's replacement held a secret emergency meeting. "The council has lost its fear," one leader said nervously. "We must rebuild our fleet," another demanded. "But what if the humans come for us?" A third whispered. Silence followed. Meanwhile, deep in a black hole of space, an ancient race watched the events unfold on massive crystal screens. They were older than the council, older than most stars. Their leader, a being of pure energy, spoke softly. "Humans have awakened their true nature. The galaxy will never be the same." On Earth, the storm clouds were finally gone. The sun rose over cities still empty of life. Birds began to sing softly again. Trees rustled in a gentle breeze. But the peace felt heavy, like the world was holding its breath. A single child's voice broke the silence. "Mommy, are the bad aliens gone now?" The mother, standing in the doorway of a hidden shelter, hugged her child tightly. "Yes, baby, they're gone. For now." In space, alien sensors picked up strange readings from Earth. Energy levels far beyond what any known technology could produce pulsed across the planet's surface. Some readings showed spikes of power so high they bent nearby space, as if gravity itself changed near Earth. On the Council's main surviving ship, an engineer tried to explain it. "The planet's energy, it's not normal," she stammered. "It's almost like the humans, or something on Earth. It's alive and watching us." Chancellor Vorn's face was pale. He ordered the ship to jump to hyperspace immediately. He wanted to put as many light years between Earth and his people as possible. But as the ship vanished into faster-than-light travel, the stars around Earth seemed to flicker as if the universe itself was warning anyone watching, "Don't come back." Back on Earth, deep in the forest, the tall figure with glowing eyes knelt beside a tree. He placed a hand on the soil. The ground pulsed once, sending a wave of power across the land. Hidden humans began to emerge from bunkers and shelters. Blinking in the morning light, they were safe. For now, but high above in the cold dark of space, many eyes were still watching Earth. Some were afraid. Others were angry. And a few were curious, wondering if humans would now take their rage beyond their home planet. The silence after the storm felt fragile. Like the calm before an even greater conflict, the galaxy knew the humans' message was clear. Never make us angry. But would the galaxy listen? In the days after the Council's defeat, every corner of the galaxy was buzzing with fear and questions. News of the shadows destroying powerful alien ships traveled faster than light. In smoky bars on distant moons, traders spoke in hushed voices. In royal courts of ancient empires, scholars debated what really happened. Everyone agreed on one thing. Humans were no longer the galaxy's weakest species. On a rocky world near the edge of council space, a secret meeting was held inside. An underground chamber? Leaders from 8 different alien species sat around a long stone table. Holograms of Earth floated above them, showing the black storm, the shadow creatures. In the final moments of the council fleet, a lizard-like alien slammed his fist down. "We cannot allow this. Humans can destroy council ships. They can destroy us too." A tall, thin creature with silver eyes hissed, "But we cannot fight them directly." We all saw what happened. A soft, silky voice came from the darkness. "Then perhaps we do not fight them. We use other ways." The group leaned forward, eyes glowing with new, dangerous ideas. Meanwhile, on Earth, life was slowly returning. Humans stepped out of bunkers, helping each other clean the cities. Fires were put out, and roads were cleared. They found pieces of alien armor, weapons, and broken ships. Scientists carefully collected everything they could, knowing these strange materials might help Earth defend itself better in the future. At the same time, at the hidden underground command center, General Carter held a meeting with the world's remaining leaders. Holographic images of alien worlds filled the room. General Singh pointed at one. "This is Drovax Prime. They are already gathering ships. We must prepare." Another general asked, "Do we strike first?" General Carter shook his head. "No. We do not want war. If they come again, we will show them what humans do when cornered." The generals agreed. But deep down, they knew peace might not last. Far away, beyond the council's space, a race of old and powerful beings known as the Elders watched Earth carefully. Their leader, a tall figure of light and shadow, stood before a crystal window. Staring at a projection of Earth, he spoke softly to his followers. "Humans have awakened their rage. It is both beautiful and dangerous." Another elder asked, "Do we intervene?" The leader's eyes glowed bright. "Not yet. But the galaxy must not fall into chaos. We will watch. And we will act, if needed." In the darkness between stars, strange ships shaped like knives drifted silently. They belonged to a species called the Zyrith, known for their skills in assassinations and sabotage. A Zyrith commander sat in his cold, dark ship staring at a hologram of Earth. His orders were clear: find the human's weakness. Destroy it from within. The Zyrith ship's engines hummed quietly as it set course for Earth. Back on Earth, strange things began happening. People started seeing shadows moving in mirrors or in the corners of their eyes. Scientists recorded strange energy spikes around the world. Animals acted nervous, barking or hiding for no reason. One night, in the ruins of an alien scout ship, a human engineer heard a voice whisper directly into his mind. "They are coming." Above Earth, in silent orbit, pieces of alien ships still floated. Satellites picked up signals bouncing between the wreckage. Some signals were from fleeing council ships, but others were from unknown sources. They carried coded messages that no one could crack. General Carter read the latest report. His eyes narrowed. They are planning something. We must stay ready. Meanwhile, in the heart of Earth's largest city, the tall figure with glowing eyes stood alone on a rooftop. The wind blew his coat as he looked up at the stars. He spoke softly, but his voice echoed across the world. They whisper of revenge. Let them come. We will remind them again. The city lights reflected in his eyes. Mist around him shifted and twisted like living smoke, ready to rise at a moment's notice across the galaxy. In thousands of places, whispers of humans' fury turned to rumors, rumors to plans, and plans to new alliances. Some species wanted to destroy Earth before. Humans grew stronger. Some wanted to hide and wait. Some wanted to join the humans, hoping to share in their strange, terrible power. In the shadows of the galaxy, the next storm was already building. Old enemies and new threats were gathering quietly, each with their own goals. And Earth still, healing from its first great battle, stood unknowingly at the center of it all. The silence of space felt heavier than before, like the galaxy itself was holding its breath again.